Chestwig and Bunion lived in their house with a little black cat and a little brown mouse. In the summer they'd talk of adventure and fun, whilst sipping cold tea in the warmth of the sun. In the winter the cat and the mouse got cold feet, while Chestwig and Bunion did nothing but eat. From kippers and custard to mustard and cheese, Chestwig and Bunion would eat what they pleased. They fed the cat fish and the mouse lots of cheese, but they didn't like pepper, 'cause that made them sneeze. They all ate too much, and it made them quite fat. Chestwig, Bunion, the mouse, and the cat. Not so far away, in a clearing in the woods, lived two unpleasant creatures who were always up to no good. They lived in a bus with bricks for wheels and fed on a diet of frozen eels. One was called Slimy, the other called Jake, and all day long mischief they would make. One fine day, in the middle of the week, Chestwig and Bunion were in the high street. They'd gone to the village to do some shopping, to buy some kippers and custard topping. On their way home, past the village hall, they spotted a poster that was hung on the wall. Championship Cup, Egg and Spoon Race, prizes for first and second place. They looked at the poster and read all the rules, so they wouldn't turn up and look like fools. Then they took out a pencil and added their names to the long list of creatures that had done the same. Meanwhile, in the woods, Slimey and Jake were thinking of ways to cheat in the race. They'd been plotting and planning and plotting some more. They had one idea, then 2, 3 and 4. They didn't want to think what would happen if they lost. They wanted to win, and win at all cost. Chestwig and Bunion lifted weights, did press-ups and running on the spot. They did as much as they could do until they got too hot. Finally, the day of the race had arrived, and creatures had flocked from far and wide. They stood at the start as the crowd looked on. Someone shouted, "Go!" and the runners were gone. They all set off at a frantic pace, with Chestwig and Bunion leading the race. Slimy and Jake trailed far behind, but they had other things on their mind. They had a plan to cheat and win, setting traps to catch the runners in. They'd set them out all along the course, nets and ropes and hidden trap doors. As Chestwig and Bunion hurried through the woods along the dusty track, it soon became quite clear some runners had fallen back. Slimy and Jake just stood there smirking, as it looked as if their plan was working. Some runners were caught up in nets hung on trees. Others were tripped up and fell to their knees. One by one, all of them were tackled, as Slimy and Jake sneered, joked, and cackled. As they neared the end of the race, puffing and panting and red in the face, Chestwig and Bunion were now on their own, running through the woods, all alone. They came to a sign which said, "Finish this way." As they followed the arrow, it led them astray. Slimy and Jake had planted the sign, hoping to catch them just in time. Chestwig and Bunion had gone the wrong way, and it looked as if the cheats would win the day. Slimy and Jake by now had started running. They thought they were so clever, their plans so very cunning. As they ran towards the finish, the crowd was shouting and booing. But right at the end, with the finish in sight, came the moment of their undoing. They forgot they'd dug a ditch by the finishing line, as Chestwig and Bunion caught up just in time. Slimy and Jake hit the floor with a clatter. As they fell to the ground, their eggs got splattered. They were furious because they'd just lost the race, covered in dirt and with egg on their face. The crowd pointed and laughed because their plan had slipped up. Then they cheered for Chestwig as he lifted the cup. After all the fuss about the race had died down, and most of the crowd had left the town, Chestwig and Bunion sat under a tree and filled up the cup with ice-cold tea.